Aloha. First of all, I'm just honored to sit next to Celeste, these three of my heroes right here. And I think it's really important. I'm not going to go into it in detail, we don't have time, but at least these two men, you know, had the courage to stand up for what was right by themselves and do things that the world wasn't willing to do. Signing on to the Paris Agreement when our country signed off, and protecting, and you know, the environmental science on. He's the man. It's the same road where, you know, he took nature, protected it first, and built industry around renewal and protection. They're just heroic, and they say that. And a special thank you to Mahina Paishang, because she gives the impression that through her humility she's a student, but she's not. She's become the teacher. And we need that desperately, young people leading the way. So anyway, I don't know, I mean, I'm no leader, I just hang around really smart people. And I think that what really strikes me about islands in the Pacific, and I'll just speak to the ones that I know the best. My home, Hawaii. We lost everything, right? I mean, we were, what we know today is very different than when I graduated from high school. Nothing was taught to be Hawaiian. There was nothing in the schools that was offered about Hawaiian history or culture, because nobody cared. And that's the danger of our time. And then you have these extraordinary pioneers who need to bring in the room. Herb Conley and Ben Finney would have a phone call in 1968, build a voyaging canoe. And the phone call went from Santa Barbara, where Ben was doing his postdoctorate, to a painter in Chicago. It didn't go to Hawaii, because if somebody answered the phone in Hawaii, they wouldn't know what you're talking about. So we know in Hawaii extinction. But those two guys were found the greatest navigator on the earth, and he's from our cousins that we had to borrow from Micronesia, because the ignorance was so deep. And those three people didn't come in terms of building a voyaging canoe, finding Tahiti, changing the world. I know I wouldn't be here. What would Hawaii be like if Mao didn't find Tahiti? But what I'm getting at is that there was this recovery period that looks back 1,000 years of voyaging between Kahikinui, which we call the Society Islands area, and Hawaii. 1,000 years. And then we forget the whole thing. The other thing we forgot, 14th century comes, three things happen. There was suggested there was population crashes, exceeded natural resources on the island. And that there would be a kapu system that was in place. Break the rules, you die. Very serious issues to resolve the problem of sustainability. And voyaging stopped. Resources went to the land. It went to protecting the lands. So that happened for 300 years, and then another wave of voyagers come from the Western world with a whole different worldview. Exploitation, consumption, with no regard to culture, no regard to ecology. Take all you get, better for you. And so Hawaii as an island knows extinction. But when Herb and Ben and Mao came together, we know Renaissance. Hawaii knows Renaissance. We brought it all back. And so we celebrate the voyages, and we should, but really we're looking at that period of time when, how did they figure out how to live on these islands? Captain Cook comes, he writes about how healthy, large population, maybe 800,000, nomads and ships. There was no aircraft on it. And they were strong. Everything with the definition of wealth is what John had. It was about water. And so I'm with the governor and the president. You need to look back at the genius, and especially with Mahina essentially saying that you know, the Va'a are innovators. Our lands are innovators. Our culture is innovators. But also, to answer the question, I just need to say this. The other teacher of mine was the astronaut, Lieutenant Colonel Lacey Beach. And it would be the last 2 weeks of his life when he was sick with lymphomelanoma melanoma. His wife called me, "You got to come to Houston, running out of time." And he would talk to me about many things, but he talked to me about was the island Earth. This extraordinary island that many people don't know. I mean, we are not in spacesuits right now, right? We can walk into the sunlight, and we're protected because we have an ozone. But we're changing that. We can enjoy seasons on a regular basis because the moon has enough gravity to hold our poles stabilized. So we have seasons. But what's really interesting, we know more about the surface of the moon than we know about the bottom of the oceans. But the moon is not going to protect us in terms of the chemistry of our air, our atmosphere, the biology on the earth. It's not going to protect us about the changing climate, which the oceans protect us the most. It's not going to protect us against the extinction rate of species, of life on Earth. The oceans will. And so because we're in the oceans, we're in really the center of what defines the beauty of this planet and what defines what we need to protect. I believe the health and well-being is tied to the health and well-being of humanity to the Earth, and the Earth's health and well-being is tied to the health and well-being of the oceans. And we're in the middle. And so this really special island we have, with all the power of our astronomical technology, we can't find a single island anywhere near. You want to go to the moon? Take your spacesuit. And when you step into the shadow, it's 400 degrees difference than the sunlight. There is no water. There is no food. My whole thing is, I just think that when you take Lacey Beach's perspective, or when William Anders on Apollo 8 would make this first time that humankind would leave the gravity of the Earth and go around the gravity of the moon, and it's the Earthrise. First time we see the island, the Earth as an island, that was transformational. It changed everything. That is the beginning of what we would describe as the global environmental movement. And so right now, all I want to say, Celeste, is that we're in crisis, but we're in this extraordinary moment for the largest global renaissance humankind has ever seen. And the islands have a story to tell to help that to happen.
Thank you, Nainoa. I think